Israel does it, and Israel does it very successfully.
They do it at the airport.
You want to do it.
They do it at the airport.
Well, they do it. They do it. And when they see somebody that they'd like to talk to, that they'd like to look at, that they'd like to maybe open up their satchel and take a look what's inside, they do it. And they don't like to do it. I don't like to do it, but we have to be, you know, you have a woman who's 87 years old in a wheelchair from Sweden, and we have to look at her if we're going to look at somebody else. It's ridiculous.
After the weekend terror attacks, Donald Trump now saying we need to profile like Israel to keep us safe at home. My next guest is a former member of Israel's elite special ops counter-terror unit. He is with me now. He's Aaron Cohen. Why do you agree with Mr. Trump? Why is profiling necessary?
Well, because you can't take down a murderer unless you can build a mosaic of the potential behavior and dress patterns and skin tones, the same way the FBI profiles serial killers, the same way they profile serial rapists. So in Israel, what we did is we built a mosaic, put together exactly what the profiles of potential murderers would be, and we actually found out that the profile of somebody who's about to commit an act of murder, Liz, is just as red flagged as somebody who has committed an act of murder. So if you look at the footage or the actual B-roll of Ahmad walking down the street, you know, you got a 230, let me just take a shot at it. You got a 230-pound, olive-skinned, dark olive-skinned, unkept beard on a mid to early 30s, clutching a cargo bag or an army sack in a predominantly gay and lesbian neighborhood in the middle of the morning or in the early hours of the morning. Those are red flags. Those are the types of things that we would look at in Israel. And the same way we would profile terrorists and criminals profile their targets. So it's just a question of who does the job better.
But here in the United States, it gets caught up in, you know, debates about racial profiling. I mean, what happens in Israel? Does Israel have debates like that or apologies like that? Go ahead.
Israel's got a tough country to deal with. I mean, leadership in Israel, people think that everyone's all pro-Bibi. It's not like that. I love Bibi. Let me just make that clear. He's a great leader. He comes from our special operations community. He's very strong on the security side. Let me say this. Israelis are very tough on their leadership, but they're not only tough on their leadership politically, they're tough on their leadership because after the first terror hijacking on an airline in the late 70s, it was the last time an Israeli airline was ever hijacked. And the reason why is because the Israeli people went, you better fix this. You better make it so that our airplanes aren't being hijacked. We demand of our government. And that's what the Israelis did, and they're tough. And so what ended up happening was Israel put together a profiling program, but it's not racial. It's behavioral.
Right, there
which
it
means
is.
It's no different than a game of poker.
So how come the U.S. can't get a behavioral profiling system enacted here in the United States? There it is. That's it. Go ahead.
Well, because we need to take. Well, first of all, I think.
What are we doing wrong?
O'Reilly, I think. Well, Bill was right. The profiling systematically happens at the airport. What we're doing wrong here is we're not empowering law enforcement. We're cuffing them. And the profiling and the undercover elements in Israel, there's a lot of off-duty police in Israel. There's all the armed security guards in Israel get framed differently. These aren't 30 cents an hour guys. The profilers at the airport are FBI quality trained security agents. We need to hand the airport security over to the FBI, who are the profiling experts, team up with the Israelis to figure out how to blow this out to all the airports, and then start treating law enforcement like men and women, and using those off-duty officers as force multipliers, as well as the concealed carry permit holders. There's 15 million of them in this country. We needed them. Look at the mall. Look at the shooting in the mall in Minnesota. Off-duty officer, NRA-certified instructor, owned a tactical training company. We empower the citizens to protect us, and they have to do that here.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough bar to get the citizens. You know,
it's a tall menu. It's a tall menu, but we've got thousands of vets though.
Yeah,
let's start getting them into the equation.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. All right, Aaron Cohen, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.